Good evening, and it's Christmas Eve. In many places in the world, like in India and the Asian countries and many parts of Europe, it's already Christmas. So, Merry Christmas to everyone. That's a plan. That's why I'm here to actually wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and some quick things to actually say about I was so happy yesterday. You have no idea. I wrote in my Facebook, on my page. I wrote very very clearly. You see what happened. I mean, it was so fascinating. Something really that came up. In front of me. That is the Packers win. So it was very good. It was very good. I went to Point East, pub. That was a very nice place. Of course, everybody should go, and everybody in Milwaukee or people who visits Milwaukee, you should check out that place. So you get the best chicken wings you can find. It's a little spicy, so you should be careful about that. I went and I was expecting one of my friends to join, so I ordered like 12 chicken wings, 12 chicken wings in, and I thought, okay, I may be able to eat only like about 8 or 9. And then I ordered also this onion petals, and I was just sitting there eating this, watching the game, and the first half, Packers were completely screwed up. I mean, they were fumbling the ball. They cannot, even the people who are, incomplete passes after incomplete passes. Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks in the world, he's throwing the ball over the players and not away from them, and he threw an interception. Everything was falling apart, and I was like sitting there, and I was like, what is going on? And there was this elderly couple who was sitting right beside me. Excuse me. They were like, what is going on with us? I didn't really initially got the seat I was sitting, because it was so busy there. The people were just standing there. So I tried ordering the food, and then I realized, okay, they don't really take an order for food unless you are sitting. So I said, okay, then I will wait, and I got a Coca-Cola with no ice, as my nose is really bad. So I said, like, no ice. And I was just standing there with this Coca-Cola. I couldn't even put this thing anywhere, so I'm holding it. I'm just standing there and watching the game. I was like, these guys are completely messed up. I'm talking about the Packers to myself. I'm not talking to anyone. The person who is supposed to join me didn't come. It's Christmas, you cannot ask people to come. I will tell you about that later. And as he screwed up, somewhere, he's talking, real stupid things to me on WhatsApp. So I was like, okay, I deleted the whole thing. I was like, okay, I don't want to even talk to you. Yeah, he at this point, he want to actually divorce a, he's so much drunk. He wanted to divorce somebody who he divorced 3 years back. I mean, imagine that. So I screwed up. So I was just sitting there. So I was like, I ordered. Then, the guy who was sitting in front of me, and he said, I already finished, my food. So I will stand. Why don't you sit down so that you can order the food? So he was very kind to actually give me that spot. So I was just sitting there, ordered the food, nothing working. By about halftime, some of the people were like, Packers are going to lose, they left. So this guy moved to the next seat, and he's sitting there. And the second half started. And then he got up and he left. I said, we are having a very bad vibe. So I need to move to the next seat. So I just moved to the next seat. And right after that, the whole game completely turned around, and the Packers came back. And Packers, started scoring. Packers were making catches. They are not fumbling the ball. So everything started perfect. And I'm looking at this seat and said, okay, I mean, it's a chair. And I was like, this chair need to be broken up and burned. And the older lady who was sitting right beside me, she was like, she's some teacher in Marquette University. She's not very old. I mean, maybe a little more older than me. So she's like, I'm not going to allow anybody to sit here. So so anybody who comes there and says, is it taken? She's like, don't sit there, because we had some really bad vibes because of people sitting there. And all the Packers fans are like, no, no, we are not sitting there. We are not sitting there, man. So it was really fun. People, there were other two, three couples around. Even though I was just thinking of just sitting there alone and watching the game, there were people just pouring all over, in support. And that's the best part of Milwaukee, especially when you're a Packers fan wearing a Green Bay Packers hoodie and just sitting there. So that's the thing, best weather. I mean, outside even today, I'm just going out. I'm just stepping outside of here. I'm just going to go to Mayfair Mall. I went initially to Bayshore Mall. It sucks, really sucks. Okay, there's nothing there. Even I was like, I need to go to some place where a lot of people. But there are people there. I'm not saying there isn't. But I'm good. I thought I would go for the movie with two kids who wanted to see Star Wars. But that was my plan initially. But that didn't really work. Because these kids were sitting all night and playing. And I was like, today I woke up and said, okay, you guys ready? They said, no, we are just waking up, then it will take, one is a girl, 15 years old. What am I going to, tell her, oh, get ready, get your ass out of there, no, because she's going to take her sweet time. I said, okay, we are not going to make it to the 3D. So they want to see it in 3D, because I have seen the Star Wars movie in the regular one, and they have seen it. They want to see it in IMAX 3D. So I said, okay, why don't you actually, take tickets for tomorrow if you guys are free? And she said, they were like, happy, because they know Christmas time afternoon, you tell a couple of teenagers, my friend was like, get them out of here, man. If you can just get them out of here, that is the best thing you can do. I said, yeah, tomorrow I'll take them for the movie. So that's the story about that. But I don't know, but these are young kids. My friends are here in town. And he said, okay, I said, okay, take the tickets and let me know if you guys are going. But I said, okay, I'm probably going there. You guys take the ticket and, come and join me tomorrow or, whatever you want to do, So I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna go out. I'm not sitting at home. I should not be here at this time. I should not be. I'm just thinking that I will be somewhere else. I had a couple of plans which I dropped. Because of the good weather. I don't want to sit inside any place. And have lunch. I had lunch. Said all that, it's just very, very personal now. This time of the year, usually things are very, very personal because you guys, you all know, it's not easy for people to be alone and away from everything and express poetry or artwork. This is not the time of the year. This time of the year, you go out there, you are in the middle of the people, you are in the middle of a lot of fun, and you are in the middle of a lot of, giving and buying, So, I truly appreciated, people who have come around, and this year, I mean, it is the end of the year coming up. This year, I truly appreciate, even though there are a lot of things which I thought, which I thought is going to happen, didn't happen, and there were beginnings of things that went in a direction which I thought is going to really come and do some things, and that didn't really happen. I mean, that is the beauty of life. We just sit there, we enjoy life. We go and figure out some things which we may think that this is the best part of life, and then we know, okay, no, it's not. We are not there yet. So I truly get in all that. I mean, I understand. I mean, through my experience with life, I'm 49 years old, so through my experience with life, which I have seen, I have experienced myself, I have heard, read, this way I know, okay, when something is happening, okay, this is the next, this is the next, this is the next. So if I'm going to actually act happening the first step, and if I want to jump into the first step, that's not good. Life doesn't work like that. It goes in a progressive way. If it is not progressing, then you have a problem. Then you are jumping into nowhere, and you are going to fall. You are going to fall face down. You are going to have injure yourself. You are going to hurt, or you are going to hurt others. That's that's a simple way I can say things. But when I am actually looking back at last Christmas and this Christmas, the time between that last Christmas I was in India, and we had tons of fun. Same is happening right now. I mean, there is every day I wake up and things just sprouts out of nowhere. There are times when I'm sitting down to write, and if you, I think I should actually show you. I don't know. I am actually writing some things like a lot of these phrases, which I'm actually expanding. But then I come back to it and say, okay, this is not what I want to do. Sit and write. I want to really, really go out there. I want to be part of all this fun. I mean, everybody, this is a fantastic day, and this next 1 week, where the fun really expands from Christmas to New Year's. So I'm wishing everybody the best of the best. Now I need to come to general things. What is happening out there, not out there, in here and everywhere. After the great Packers win, I was just driving around in downtown, and I came through Lakeside. I went to Bayshore yesterday itself, last night itself. Uh, just a reminder. What was it all about? Why would I even, from 10 years back, 2010, 2010, when I came to for the Summerfest from Kansas. I came to for a visit, during the Summerfest time. uh, at that time I was actually making that decision. There I had a conversation with somebody, who reminded me, okay, that this is not a very expensive place. This is not a place where you need to spend a lot of money to live. This is a place where you can define the fun you want to, and you can live. It's not like, even if the only exception I have seen around it, this is when I lived in New York. New York is a place where you can go to places where you can find maybe a little version of Milwaukee. But Milwaukee is a city where this whole thing is possible. You want to live at the high rise life, you can go and do that. You want to go and just have a simplest form of life, you can do that. Like me, in between all that, I go high rise at times, I go low rise at that times, not low rise, low. I can do that. I mean, that's the beauty of this place. And it's not very expensive. And even recently, my friend who came from Atlanta, he told, you are really lucky in that way to end up in a place like this, because it's practically impossible to actually live the way you were living in Atlanta or any other place you have visited. So that's what I truly believe about this place. And that's one part. Then that's when I actually went there, and I was driving around, and I came in front of many stores that are completely closed. I mean, they don't no longer exist there because the mall itself is going away. And I was like, a couple of years back, I was there walking around, even though it was very cold, and I was like, what was it all about? And that's where I'm coming down to. It was all about that one person, that one part. And that one part means a lot, because it was a journey that started way back in the early 70s. And each step, I told about the progressiveness, each step was a progress towards the next step. And I took each step to understand the reality of a person. And I did everything I can, in every possible way, try to understand, try to make that person understand. In this year, if you look at this, if you need to go to lonelypod.com, starting somewhere around the mid-February, you look at the poems, I am actually expanding those thought process of I am ready to understand you, I am ready to accept you as who you are. I am ready to be part of you. I am ready to make you part of me. This was the common message. And if you think that I'm randomly writing blah 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 blah, no, this was the idea that happened. And I did a remarkable job with that. And I'm not kidding. I went on to write maybe more than 200, 200. I haven't even counted how many poems I wrote. I brought this idea. It was not like a broken record. So each one was a next to progress, which I learned from my own life, where I progressed and progressed and progressed to a great extent, and it saturated out at a point in when I was in India. That's the reason why I thought, okay, this is not working out in the way I wanted there. But then I came here, and then I moved around because it felt the same way that I'm only progressing to a next step. I'm not finalizing it. And I saw her. And I saw little boss. And when I saw and I looked into her eyes, and I know that progressing is over. That status bar, when it goes and it ends at a place, this is over. That's the person. And that's the love. From the bottom of my heart, all the pledges with the sight of my eyes. Mwah. Merry Christmas.